everyone. I'm Juliette.
And I'm Karl.
And this is the VISIONURI podcast,
where we talk all things eyes.
Whether it's eyewear fashion from our collection, Nurilens, or trending eye health phenomena, we cover some of the things that people might not think about related to their eyes, but should.
We'll explore hot topics in the world of eye health, talk to professionals in the field, and share stories of real people with real life experiences.
We invite you to join us as visionaries looking toward a future with a clear view.
Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of the Visionary podcast. I'm joined once again with my co-host, Juliette. Juliette, how's it going?
Going well, thank you. How are you?
Okay, can't complain, got my Elwood Cities on. What do you got on today?
I got on my Lose, my Silver Oak Lose.
Silver Oak Lose. I still got to get a pair of those, but that's neither here nor there. We have an exciting episode today. Got some cool things to talk about.
Because you're not on Nurilens' team, you should have all the frames.
Listen, patience, patience. I'm building my collection the right way, like our customers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Our loyal customers. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to y'all, the ones that buy every pair one at a time. We appreciate you.
Very much.
So yeah, Juliette, we got some exciting things coming up. You want to talk about that?
Not even exciting things coming up. What about the exciting things we've done?
That is true. We could talk about those too.
We've had an exciting spring into the summer, actually. Mm-hmm. So we've been doing some pop-ups and been meeting people in person, which is quite exciting. Seeing a lot of customers in the frames, definitely popping up for the culture. Yeah. We did Juneteenth. We were featured at the pop-up culture pop-up. We did Afro Soca Love. Yeah. We did Extraordinary Investments. That also did a Black Excellence Marketplace, which was a lot of fun. So it was really, really nice to see people, first and foremost, other Black-owned companies that are popping up for the culture, but also to bond with the clients, to hear the questions that you all have, to see you all trying on the frames, to see your shopping experience come to life. Because honestly, up until May, we've been interacting with you all online. So it's been really cool to see you all in person. In addition to that, we've been outside.
We have.
We've been
in the streets.
In the streets of the internet. Yeah. So we've also been featured on a number of platforms, which is extremely, extremely exciting. Afrotech featured us, Travel Noir, and both of those companies are very well known. They're owned by Blavity. Black Enterprise has featured us, and also we were featured on Yahoo News, Yahoo Finance, as well as MSN. So those are some of the exciting features. It was great to be able to bond with a number of individuals representing those platforms and sharing Nurilens' story. So I'm very excited for what the future holds. Of course, we have pop-ups coming up. We are going to be featured at the National Urban League, Black Brilliance Marketplace. We will be popping up at Afro Soca Love again in August. And we'll also be doing some other some other pop-ups within the community and just bonding with people.
And where
that's something that I enjoy doing.
Where these pop-ups people can know?
They are located in the DMV. So on August 14th, we will be at Veterans Plaza in Silver Spring. And August 14th, we'll also be in Baltimore. I believe we're going to be at the Comité Haiti Annual Community Picnic. So you can meet us there. And then on August 27th, we will be in Virginia and DC at Karma for Afro Soca Love's Black Marketplace, Black-owned business marketplace. And then we'll be at, I believe it's called Oranco Plaza in Arlington, Virginia, for an Around the World Cultural Festival.
Yeah,
So a lot of exciting things coming up. Yep.
100%. Yeah, one of the things, like as you were saying before, that I think is like kind of special about the pop-ups is that we actually get to see our customers see the frames in person. You know,
Yes.
I love the reaction that you get when you see someone and like, wow, like let's look at those, like the aesthetic, like what's going on there, like those are unique.
Right.
And not to say that that doesn't happen online when customers see our products, but we don't get to see it, you know. So there's that instant
right there
when you can see a group of people come over and they're calling their friends or their family and they're like, oh, come take a look at this, try these on, let's see how these
right.
look on you, you know. And
oh, for sure,
I think that's something that like Nurilens is like we kind of drilled into it. Like we want to make sure when you hold the frames, when you see the packaging, you get the full experience. So
for sure. There was actually one customer, I swear to you, he came, he tried on the frame, stood there for a minute and then walked away, and he was like, I'm gonna be back. And he came back and he was like, I just needed to go for a walk for a second to clear my head. And he had the same pair of frames that he tried on. It was two. And he tried them as if like the fit and the look were going to be different. And he ended up purchasing them. But it was just interesting seeing, you know, especially for ourselves, right? You go shopping for a pair of shoes or something, or and I know with men, I think it's simpler for you, but I know for myself, if I go shopping for a pair of shoes, I will walk around that same store for an hour, right? Because I really want to test the look and feel and everything like that. And maybe I'll leave and I'll come back. But you never think about that when it comes to buying a pair of glasses, right? You want to see how it feels. You want to see how it looks. You want to look in the mirror, and you do want to step away for a few minutes to think about it and come back and eventually make a purchase. So that was really, really cool. And drum roll, please. We have a special guest who is going to be showing up to these pop-ups. Optical manager.
This guy right here, Karl. So I will be at those events. I will be at those upcoming events. As Juliette said, I think the one on the 13th as well as the one that the couple weeks later in the 27th in the DMV area, which will be nice because not only will you be able to try them on and talk to Juliette about the aesthetic and the frames and the different types and all the features, but I will break down more like the science, you know, so like the types of lenses that we have, the types of lenses that we use standard in all our frames, and kind of show what Nurilens is focused on, because we do care about the aesthetic, but there's the sustainability with the wood, as well as trying to focus on your eye health along with your vision health. Right. Yeah. So that's something that we're really excited to show you guys in person. So if you're in those areas, or if you're not, you know, you can tune in online. We might do some lives as well, so that you can see some of our stands, our setups, our pop-ups, whatever, and you can follow along on social, or you can come on to support in person. So
absolutely. I'm super, super excited because now I don't have to do these by myself. I do have a crew that does come with me, and shout out to y'all. But now I can have my second in command, and he can answer all of your questions about your prescriptions.
Questions I can't answer, I'll send you to Juliette.
Oh, please. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, now we are moving to our next segment called Who's Wearing What? Karl, would you like to introduce us to this segment?
So like we did last time, this segment, we talked about a character from a show that everyone kind of knows, and we just picked what frames we think would fit that character best, their personality, their location, their overall vibe. We tried to kind of dissect this a little bit, and there's a lot of thought that goes behind this. So Julia, what character did we pick for this week?
And before I show this character, I expect that you all are going to chime in the comments, give us your feedback. You guys are going to let me know that my option was better than Karl's.
She says this. She knows she's wrong, but
I'm kidding, but I'm not. But yes, let us know if there's another pair of frames that you would prefer to see. Let us know, and let us chime in the comments to let us know if you agree with us. So the character that we have chosen is Swiper from Dora the Explorer. First and foremost, I will say Dora the Explorer, that was my show. I watched probably like every episode of the first season. I eyes glued to the TV when Dora aired its first episode. So this is a special one for me.
I was less a fan of Dora, more a fan of Diego. I don't know if you knew about Diego. But
Diego was my homie. I remember him.
Homie.
I remember him, but I kind of fell off the bandwagon.
Nah, me and Diego, he was him.
Y'all were like this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Like this. Y'all were like this. Anyway, so we chose Swiper, and Karl and I have not gone into the details of which frames we're choosing. So yeah, Karl, do you want to go first?
No, I'll let you go first. I want to see, your wrong pick.
I'm coming with some heat. So prior to the episode, Karl and I did agree that we are allowed to use sunglasses. And it's a good thing because I would have gotten mad and really upset if you brought up some sunglasses. I don't know if you did, but if you did bring up some sunglasses, I would be very upset.
Yeah.
If I was thinking of bringing sunglasses and I didn't. Now, with Swiper and his personality, he's smooth. We can think whatever we want about him, but he's smooth, right? He tries to claim his territory or his stuff that really doesn't belong to him. And then we have like the blue bandana detail. So I really was looking at like an aesthetic kind of thing. And I really feel like the silver oak loose would go with Swiper.
Are those tints on there too?
Those are polarized sunglass silver oak loose.
Okay.
Let me put it in view for the people. I think it would go perfectly with his complexion, with the blue bandana that he has wrapped around his face and the blue gloves. I just feel like it's a perfect fit. And I think also the wave-frame shape, I think it's a nice contrast to all of the roundness going on with the fox.
Okay.
All the curves going on.
I will agree.
That's what I'm saying.
I will
because I'm right. Because I'm right. Because I'm right.
I do think the silver oak against the blue gives nice cool vibes, I think those go hand in hand. And I thought about that. I was like, but then
it's a good thing you didn't choose my idea.
I looked at the full fit, and he has this lighter undertone, you know what I'm saying? So because of that, I chose the Elwood Cities. You know what I'm saying? Now, not these specifically because he needs his black tints. You got a pair of those, right? Can you show the audience? Can you show the audience? I do. Okay. So now let's think about this, right? He got the round eyes, round frames. It goes perfect. But he needs the dark tints because he's a little shiesty, He can't have you know where he's looking while he's in your pocket, in your purse or whatever.
I'm so mad at you.
So like, I think honestly, overall, these frames, it goes with his undertone complexion. It has like you can see the grain, you see the orange, the yellows.
That's right. Okay. I see you.
You know what I'm saying? But then also he needs his shades all the time, right? But they might be sun adaptive. You feel me? You see what I'm saying?
Right. So when he comes around Dora, they change into sunglasses. Why didn't we think about that?
Outside and Dora's with
Here's the thing. The zebra wood, it's a lot of, I think I see how this might be a little camouflage for him. But I guess I was trying to make it a fashion statement. That's why I came out with the loose.
I understand. But
so I really want all our listeners today to let us know what you think. Are we going for the camouflage and blending in with his undertone, or are we going for a pop and a contrast and a fashion statement?
Okay, let's do this one more time. Are we going with the loose that match the bandana but don't match him? Or are we going with the Elwood Cities sun adapted?
Oh my gosh.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh. Why do you have to say it that way?
With the change, because he pulls up really nice and then he ends up being a little shiesty. You know what I'm saying? He's the switch up, he got the switch up in the lenses, but also it matches his undertone to who he is as a person, his core.
I cannot believe. What I would say though is I would put a little chain on the back though. I would put a little chain on the back to hold up his frame.
Because he's moving
That's what I would
fast.
do.
He's moving fast.
He's moving fast. He's moving fast. He can't be trying to put him on, and if he has to take him off, he needs to be on the go. Next thing you know,
and then he has to tie his bandana
frames.
too. So if he got to take the bandana off, he could put the frames down, untie the bandana. You see what I'm saying? Put the glasses back.
Right. It's a lot going on. But anyway, just chime in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. If there's a different pair of frames you would see on Swiper, let us know. I'm pretty sure that Lou is the winner here, but let us know.
Let us know how many of y'all agree with me and don't agree with Juliette, because clearly she's delusional.
This podcast is sponsored by Nurilens, a handcrafted wooden eyewear company. We offer a number of vision and eyewear solutions, whether prescription or non-prescription. Nurilens combines style, performance, and sustainability by creating an experience that encourages self-expression, impact, and improved vision health. Visit nurilens.co for more information.
But
of course,
that kind of that you talked about the chain a little bit, and that brings us into our next topic. So I was at church the other day, right? And the pastor's up there, he's talking, and he did one of these. You ever seen him do one of these, Juliette?
My dad's a preacher, and he usually does this.
He does that. Oh, so he does the up. He does
this.
Yeah.
And then when he's preaching and he's reading his sermon, he'll have his glasses on, and he has the like small little glasses. Yeah. And then for him to look into the audience, he puts his head up and he puts his glasses up.
Yeah.
And this is something I've also seen in like middle school. I remember clearly middle school where, your teacher comes in front of the class and she walks around with the glasses up here. And then all of a sudden, when she picks up the book, okay, turn to chapter 3, whatever, page 42. And then she puts her glasses down and starts reading.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've also seen this where people are constantly like moving, like adjusting.
What I've seen my mother do a lot is like when I was young, she was one of these,
Oh, that's the signature right there.
And
it's like, how much further can you? But I realize I do the same thing with my glasses on, and now I'm kind of like, what does this mean?
What's going on? What's going on? Something I've noticed, well, and also for the people that are just listening in, what we're doing is like when people hold the phone really far away, when they're trying to read something on their phone,
like a foot or 2 feet away,
and they have to like extend it. And when I was younger, I used to always think like, why is it that like if you're trying to see something small, you would hold it further away?
Right.
Why wouldn't you want it to be closer up to you? And then like, why is it that like when you're reading something, you've got glasses on?
You have to put the glasses on your nose.
Yeah, and then when you're talking to people in the audience, now all of a sudden you have to take the glasses off. I never understood that as a kid.
Right.
So what we kind of want to talk about is what's the reason behind that.
Why are they wearing their glasses like that?
Yeah, and this is something that I didn't really know until I kind of got into like Nurilens and got into the optical field. So there is a science behind it. They're not crazy, there is a science behind it,
which is very interesting to me.
So what happens when people age, the lens in their eye, that natural lens in their eye will harden, right? And it becomes less stiff, it becomes less mobile. So what will happen when you're younger is that lens will kind of change its shape so that the light coming into your eye will help you differentiate if you want to see something clearly far away or see something clearly close up. But as you age, that gets a little stiff, and then it begins to be harder to see things because there's not that adaptability anymore, right? So when someone is on stage per se preaching and they have their reading glasses to read like a text, when they then look into the audience, they can't use those reading glasses anymore because everything that they're seeing is blurry, that those glasses essentially just help for seeing that maybe 1.5 feet in front of them. So
let me ask you this, right? If and we know that those are like your, in a sense, they're the and in scientific terms, the sphere, it's the ad, right? Or on your prescription, if you have like bifocals or progressive, that would be the ad, right? So essentially, it's making you see things. It's making, I would say, the text that you're reading a little larger, if that's what I'm understanding.
The sphere in like your prescription.
Right. Or when you get reading glasses, isn't it making the text a little larger for you?
So yes, so in the ad portion, it's kind of
Right.
magnifying that. So if you get like progressive lenses, which we offer at Nurilens,
We sure
you
do.
can you can get
And
your
readers.
and readers, yeah, and those are different. Remember that. You can get your distance vision corrected in that top
Right.
portion, and then in that bottom portion, there's an ad that helps to magnify things that are close up. Now, if you're
So let me ask you this though,
yeah,
if it's magnifying things, and that's, I guess, what's confusing for me because I'm nearsighted. So essentially, my frames are meant to magnify whatever's far. What is the science behind, like, if it's an ad, shouldn't it to some extent magnify things that are far?
no,
How
it's
does it make things blurry? I think that's what's confusing for me.
well, because it's corrected for, so you have to realize that it's corrected for a certain distance, right? So
Okay,
and they're opposite of each other. Okay.
got
So
you.
your distance vision, if you're nearsighted, right, your prescription is probably going to be negative, right? If you're
Right,
nearsighted, your prescription is going to be in those negative values, right? So
right.
1.25, -3, up to who knows, -10, right? Um,
Right.
People that need correction for their reading vision, they have an ad. So that is then a plus. So that's going to be to help make that little tiny print on your phone or whatever in your text messages or in the book that you're reading, that's going to magnify that for you. So it's
Right.
they're different and opposite of each other.
I
So
see.
yeah. And that's why it's important to know what you're looking for and what you need when you're like trying to get glasses, because
Right.
if you're someone that likes to read a lot, you know, maybe you don't want to get the progressive lenses, you might want to get the readers or, you know, or the cheaters,
Right.
because
Right.
the cheaters will give you a full lens, right, of just
Right.
what that ad is. So now you can just
Instead of you having to split it.
Yep. And some people will complain about that, you know, having to deal with, oh, it's split. I don't, you know,
Right.
and some people love it. Some people like the to be able to put on a pair of glasses and see far away and see close up and not have to
Right.
switch. They just have to know where they're looking, you know. So
So that probably explains why they're putting things on their nose,
mhm.
because they actually have to use that bottom part of
Yep.
their lens.
Yep. Yeah. So sometimes it's like, well, sometimes it's like I these are just reading glasses, so I'm lowering it so I can look above it. Or sometimes it's like I'm
Right.
using this to look down, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to correct this distance of that bottom portion so that I can look down. So there's different
I
reasons.
see.
You just kind of really need to know what you're looking for and kind of what you're
Right.
into. And then obviously with trial and error, you'll find like, okay, maybe I don't like progressive lenses. Maybe I prefer just readers or cheaters or whatever, you know? So
Right.
everybody's different. Everyone has their own preference, but that's the why behind this, you know?
The glasses. And you know what's wild? I low-key feel
Mhm.
bad because that was like the highlight when you were a kid and you did skits, right? And
Yeah.
you had to, like, you played the librarian or you played the teacher or you played someone who was older and wore
Yeah.
glasses. The first thing was, and sometimes even when, like, if my friend calls me to tell me, hey, I've got to talk to you about something, the first thing I'm going to do is take my glasses and put it on my nose and
Yeah.
look at them. But I didn't even realize the reason why people actually need to do it.
You know, and I agree with everything you're saying, but also to add on to that, another thing that like as I was growing up, I remember like my librarian in school, she had one of the
Right.
chains, right? And
that was the next thing I was going to ask you about.
I was always confused as to like, is she just like super like she just misplaces everything, like she just doesn't trust herself, she doesn't know where her glasses are. But now it makes so much sense to me, because it's like, I don't want to have to pull this out my pocket, or like I need, when I need to read something, I need to read something. So like I can go about my day like this, my vision is fine, I can see okay. But if I need to read something, it's right here, pop these on real quick, I can read this, you know. So,
and it's probably the same reason then why people put their glasses up top, on top of their head. Because it makes it easier for them to just pull it back down and read whatever they're going to read. So let me ask you this, right? And this is where I'm kind of getting worried for myself, because I feel like this means I'm getting older. When I'm reading, I'm nearsighted, and I don't believe I need to magnify anything, right? When I don't have my glasses on, I will hold a book closer, but I find that now when I'm reading, I still need to hold my glasses at a distance from my face. So does this mean that my vision is changing, where I'm going to eventually need reading glasses too?
At some point in everybody's life, as they age, there will be a point where reading glasses are necessary. So it's one of those things that's unavoidable. Now,
it's even with you with 20/20 vision.
Yeah, yes, 100%. At some point, my up close is gonna go.
Wow.
So the thing is, right, like, while part of it could be your vision is changing, and maybe you do need to get like,
I'm only like, I'm young, I'm still in my 30s.
I'm not even saying it has anything to do with like your age. I'm saying like, make sure you get your annual visit, you know, make sure you go to your eye doctor and get your checkup, because you need to stay on top of that, because your vision will change year to year, day to day, week to week, month to month. So make sure like making sure your prescription is the correct prescription is important.
Right.
Also, if you are nearsighted, right, and your vision is correcting for distance, sometimes that can make it difficult then to see something up close. And then if as your eye loses its ability to like bend and flatten, you know what I'm saying, that can be a cause of it as well. So I mean, it could be a multitude of issues or a multitude of causes. It's trying to like cross them out, you know, as you can. So
is it possible, right, given what you said, is it possible that for someone my age or younger, we could have reading glasses for someone who's nearsighted, right? We can have, if my sphere, for example, for, I don't know, my left side is -4, right? Is it possible for my optometrist to give me reading glasses that is like a -2, so that it's not as magnified when I'm actually reading or using the computer? Does that exist? Or is it only reading glass? So basically the magnification is less because I don't have to see as far. I'm seeing up close, but I don't need like cheaters. Does that make sense? I'm holding it far because my glasses are meant to magnify things from a distance. But if I'm holding something closer to my face, it's not at the same distance that like the street sign is at.
Then
so is it possible for someone to have like computer glasses or something where the prescription is not as intense?
I see what you're saying.
But it applies to them seeing a little bit more up close.
So
it doesn't necessarily need to be magnified as much. No?
Yes. So it's something that is now becoming more prevalent due to the fact that people spend a lot of time in front of like computer screens at work, at the desk, is that optometrists will give you a prescription catered to the distance generally between like you and a desk, like a computer at a desk. So now you can if you mention this to your optometrist or your ophthalmologist and say like, hey, I spend a lot of time in front of a computer, they can try to cater that prescription that they give you for that distance. So some people do get, you'll get prescriptions, like we get some prescriptions sometimes, and they'll have like distance vision, they'll have reading near vision, but then they'll have like a computer distance, which is different. So depending on what they're looking for, they can get that
Right.
prescription filled. But it is a case by case thing. I can't say all
Right.
computer lenses are gonna come with this type of script or that type of script. It depends on who you are, you know. But that is something you can ask for, definitely, because that is not the same distance as you usually hold your phone, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So, and a lot of times the print on computers is like tiny too. So trying
Very,
to,
very small.
yeah, trying to deal with like that size 12 font and times is tiny. So, you know,
APA and MLA
yeah,
format.
exactly.
The world has us by our edges following APA and MLA on these computers.
You telling me. But yeah, so.
But that's interesting. That's
Mhm.
very interesting that we never really think to, or I mean, I listen, this is no shade to the techs of the world, but it's interesting that like usually the standard is, even I think like looking through my computer at like 100% magnification, size 12 font is still really, really small.
Yeah.
But the standard is not having it much larger, at least on you know, the computer or your phone, right? They give you different sizes, but they're still really small.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's interesting also that, because I believe the font size that you see on the computer, like if you're in Microsoft Word, for instance, right? And you're
Right.
looking at size 12 font, right?
Right.
That mimics the size 12 font that would be printed out on a sheet of paper, right? But
Right.
the difference is, right, like that that sheet you can hold a lot closer a lot of the time, you know,
Than
as
your
opposed to a
computer or your
laptop that's
laptop.
usually generally further away. Now you can zoom in
Right.
and make it bigger per se, but that 12, like at 100%, is going to be the same size as that sheet. So I
Right.
do think it's interesting that like a lot of times people don't think like, hey, these glasses that I'm wearing, they're either suited for this or suited for that,
Suited
not
for there.
this distance right here, you know?
But I wear my glasses for everything.
Yeah.
Literally wear my
Yeah.
glasses for everything. So it's interesting that you even mentioned that, because technically I shouldn't have to wear my glasses
Well,
to even sit on this
the
podcast.
glasses you're wearing currently, right? They're set to help correct for a specific distance. Now,
Right.
the ability of your eye to still like bend and move, that lens in your eye to bend and move, is allowing
Right.
you to adapt and see things up close, even with your glasses
I
on that are
see.
fixed for distance, or even like computer distance, or sometimes even further. So,
I
and
see.
that's what I was saying. It's kind of like a case by case thing. So, if you're spending a lot of time in front of a computer, important, like if you feel like your glasses aren't working for you, go get checked out and let
Right.
your optometrist know that, hey, like I spend a lot of time in front of the computer and this prescription doesn't seem to be working, because maybe you need a specific prescription for that distance. And if you
Right.
do happen to spend a lot of time in front of a computer, it's important then also to come buy some blue light blocking lenses from Nurilens, because you know we got that blue light
Boom.
and it's standard across. You know, you can get them in any pair of lenses. It's offered. It's not even an add-on feature. You don't have to pay extra for it. All our frames come with blue light blocking lenses, and that's
Premium.
important because these
Premium.
frames, yes, premium. Say it again. Premium. Okay,
Premium.
exactly.
Premium. Premium. Hello.
So yeah, so you can get some blue light blocking lenses. Blue light is coming from your phone, from your screen, and we don't have to get into all of that right now, but definitely helps
That
with
was a perfect shameless plug.
irritation, the dry eye, you know, when you're spending long days in front of the screen. So yeah.
For sure. Now it's time. Now that we've had this wonderful discussion, it is time for, no, this is actually my favorite. I thought Who's Wearing What was my favorite. This one is my real favorite. This is my absolute favorite segment
This is
of
definitely not my
the
favorite segment,
podcast. I've done research for this. I had a list. I lost the list. And I found a new one.
I
Okay.
saw the list.
Um,
I threw it out. That's what happened.
it's time for our eye joke. Okay. This is a segment that I added for myself. Karl did not agree, and you can see it based on the look on his face. But I'm super excited for this because I love to laugh and I love things like this. So anyway, I'm going to pull up. I'm already laughing at it. The first joke, well, the second joke, since we're episode 2. What do you call a dinosaur with no eyes?
This is gonna be bad. Oh
my gosh.
I don't know, Julia. What do you call the dinosaur with no eyes?
Do you think he saw us? That was so good. Admit it. Karl, that was so good. Do you think thesaurus? It's thesaurus that got me. And they spelled it SAURUS. It was amazing. And he has no eyes. So of course he didn't see us. Oh my gosh, that was great. That was great. And honestly, y'all, send me your eye jokes and riddles. I will share them on the podcast. This segment is just for me. Please Karl does not enjoy it. But I encourage you to encourage my joy for laughing and these eye jokes. I get a very good kick of them. I need to look for my list. I do need to look for my list. But nevertheless, I found a new one and I'm going to start building my repository for future podcasts. Anyway, as we come to the end of our podcast, we do want to thank everyone for joining us. Again, we were able to clarify some of the behaviors that we never really understood about how people hold their glasses. Why your teacher does that, why the public speaker or the preacher holds their glasses a certain way, whether it's on their nose, whether it's on their forehead. So chime in the comments, send us your stories. As we move on with our future episodes, we are going to be sharing some of our viewers' eye stories. So we invite you to send us an email at info@nurilens.co. You can also DM us and we will anonymously share some of your either horror stories or things you've learned along your eye health journey. And that will be the topic of the day.
Yeah.
Even if you guys have
questions as well. Yeah. Even if you guys have questions as well, you can DM us your questions, email them to us. We can try to answer them the best we can. Try to keep them eye related, please. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And so this was episode 2 and we are signing out.
Oh, bye. Thank you again for tuning into the Visionary podcast. We hope that you receive some nuggets that will help you make better decisions about your eye health. Anything we've discussed in this episode should not be taken as medical advice. And if you have any questions or concerns about your own personal health, please reach out to your local doctor.
If you like what you've heard, feel free to leave us a review with your feedback. Also, feel free to visit our website at www.nurilens.co for your next pair of frames.
We offer non-prescription and prescription options with different features to fit your style and vision needs. Enjoy 20% off your purchase with the code VISIONURI20 today. That's VISIONURI20 today.
Remember to see through the lens of your purpose. We look forward to chatting with you next time. Bye.